Dear friends, welcome to the next session for software engineering and designing concepts. So in today's session, we will be looking at another behavior oriented diagram which is known as the state chart diagram. So let us get started. State chart diagram represents the condition of the system or part of the system at finite instances of time. We have to remember that here the system representation is important. It represents the behavior using finite state transitions and are also known as state machines or state chart diagrams. So this is similar to a concept which we have already done in our courses like formal languages and automata theory, where we deal with state chart machines or state machines. So here also it represents a similar concept. A state diagram is used to model the dynamic behavior of a class in response to time and changing external stimuli. So, as already mentioned, we will be dealing about the system or the structure and what is the state of that system at that particular instant of time in a state chart diagram. The various uses of state chart diagram can be represented as dynamic behavior of a system, and it also states the events responsible for change in the state. That means how the states changes, not by what influence the state changes. That means we will not be dealing with the processes which caused those events. We will simply be dealing with the events that has been caused to and also to understand the reaction of objects or classes to internal or external stimuli. So basically here in this particular state chart diagram, we will be dealing with the state of the system and what are the different phases these states depend on or is attained by the various uh, components or various classes that are present in the system. We will not be dealing with the processes which caused the state change or the stimuli. So what is the difference between a state diagram and a flowchart? The basic purpose of a state diagram is to portray various changes in the state of the class and not the processes or commands causing the changes. However, the flowchart portrays the processes or commands that on execution changes the state of the class or an object of the class. So in flowchart, we will primarily be dealing with the processes or commands. However, in state chart, we will be dealing with the effects that these processes and commands would be having. So looking into this diagram, if you see, this is the state or the state chart diagram or the state diagram of a particular uh, class which is dealing with the PIN authentication. So here the start symbol represents the start of the state diagram, and after that the card is swiped, and after the card is swiped the machine will be waiting for the pin. So this is the state of the machine. State of the machine. But we will not be dealing with why or where or how this waiting for the pin will happen. So after the card is swiped, it will simply be waiting for the pin. Once the pin is entered, it will be verified by the next state of the system. So pin verification will be the next state of the system. And then pin rejection if it is not a valid pin, and if it is a authorized pin, then after verification the authentication will go straight to the user being identified state, and after the user has been identified it will simply stop using a stop symbol. Now this is quite similar to what we have already done in our activity diagrams. So the notations almost are similar. However, we have to remember that in activity diagram, we also deal with processes or commands. However, here we will be dealing only with the state of the system that the current class or current state is in. Some of the basic components. So initial state is represented by a filled black circle, and it represents the initial state of the system or a class. Then we have transition. So we use a solid arrow to represent transition or change of control from one state to another. The arrow is labeled with the event which causes the change in the state. So here we will be showing it with a directed arrow, and this is a transition basically from one state to another state. Generally we can put a label here on top of the arrow or below the arrow stating what event caused the change in the state. But however, this is not entirely mandatory that we put a label into it. The next is the state. So we use a rounded rectangle to represent a state. A state represents the condition or circumstances of an object of a class at that instant of time. So this is basically the representation of a state. This is similar to how we represent an activity. However, activity represents the process or commands. However, state represents the conditions or circumstances of an object of that class at that particular instant of time. Now, the next component we have is a fork component. So we use a rounded solid rectangular bar. So this is a solid rectangular bar to represent fork notation with incoming arrow from a parent state and multiple outgoing arrows to multiple different created states. So fork, as we already have basic knowledge about fork, that it is used to create new states or new processes. So here also it is similar. However, representation is shown in this particular figure. We use fork notation to represent a state splitting into two or more concurrent states. So concurrency is represented using a fork notation. Next we have join. So join is an opposite of fork or a reverse diagram of fork, where we have multiple different states coming to a particular bar as an input, and after which it is joined or merged to form a final state. So we use a join notation when two or more states concurrently converge into one on the occurrence of an event or events. The next is self-transition. Self-transition is basically a solid arrow pointing back to the state itself to represent a self-transition. There might be scenarios when the state of the object do not change upon occurrence of an event. We use self-transition to represent such cases. So in cases where the state change will revert back to the same original point is represented using this self-transition arrow, and the final state is represented using a circle, filled black circle with a boundary, and that denotes the end of the state diagram. So now let us look at what are the different steps to draw the state diagram. First of all, this is the very basic concept, and first of all we have to identify the initial state and the terminating states, and then we have to identify the possible states in which the object can exist. Possible states will be relating to the boundary values corresponding to different attributes, which guides us in identifying the different states. Let's take the example of an ATM machine. So ATM machine can be in the waiting state, can be in verification state, can be in the operation state, can be in the rejection state, also can be in closure state, etc. Further, operation state again can be categorized into cash release state, it might also be in other states like display and print, receipt. So these are some of the sample states or example states which an ATM machine could be. So we have to identify all possible states that a particular system might be in and then accordingly draw the different states. Then we have to label the events which trigger these transitions. So these are supposed transitions, and we also have to find out labeling for all these states. Label might be corresponding to waiting, and from waiting, in order to reach verification, we have to enter the pin of the card. Enter the pin of the card. So this is your label. So this labeling is also important. So first of all, identifying initial state, final state. Then we have to identify all the possible states, and after that we have to identify the labels as to which will be triggering all the transitions between these states. So now we will be looking at an example. This is simply an order management system. So initially the start symbol and the ending symbol, as we can see here, it is represented, and when the system is started, it receives the order. Once the order is received, the state of the system is in unprocessed order state. So once the order is received, if the order is rejected, so it will simply go to the next state, which is reject order state, and then it will terminate the system. However, if the order is accepted, it will go to the accept order state. And after that, the system will check that whether after the order has been accepted, whether the items that are there in the order are available or not. If the items are not available, then it will go to the next state, which is the pending order state. And if some of the items are available which could be delivered, then it will go to the fulfilled order state. Now, after this, all the items are available, which is the new supply. So the system could be terminated. And after the pending order state also, if you see, you can either, if you feel like that because of the time delay or the time has lapsed, I mean the order has been pending for a long time, you can also put another state here which will be representing, saying that acknowledge delay state. So this state also you can introduce here, and this acknowledge state will be acknowledging the customer that there will be a slight delay in fulfilling of the order. So after all the items are available, it can simply go to all items available for new supply, and then it can move to the fulfilled order and finally get terminated. So here, if you see, all the states are representing the various states that the system is in. It is not dealing with any type of activities or behaviors which are related with the commands or processes that needs to be performed within the system. However, in activity diagram, it would have been little different. So this activity diagram, if you would have to represent this in an activity diagram, it would have been little different, where you have to include all the commands as well, like process order, reject order, accept order, then show order pending. So all these things, all the different activities could have been shown in the form of activities in an activity diagram. However, here the states are represented using the different states of the system. So that is all for state diagram. Thank you.